Hey guys, welcome back to Guy Stuff. Today I'm doing one of my absolute favorite recipes, and I know I say that every time, but I've got a really nice core of favorite recipes, and these are the most delicious burgers you're ever going to taste. These are better than anything in any restaurant I've ever had, and I'll tell you what, I have yet to fail to impress anybody that's had these, even people that said they didn't like burgers or had kids that said they would never eat it. Oh, they finished it every single bite. I'm not kidding. These are so good, I eat them plain. Now sometimes, I go a little crazy and I'll put dill and cheese and bacon and lettuce and onion and that kind of stuff on it. But most of the time, it's just the finished burger and a good bun, and that is all it needs. Juicy, delicious, absolutely perfectly done. I do mine medium rare to medium. You can do them the way you like them, but even if you do them well done, they are still going to be very juicy and full of flavor. So that's why this really works out well, because my wife likes them like freaking charcoal, and I like them, hit it with a stick, good to go. So, I kind of compromise. I do mine a little bit more, but I make hers more well done, leave it on the grill. So anyway, we are going to be doing this on the grill, of course, and not just a straight up grill. Again, it's going to be kind of medium, not low and slow, but more of a medium with a couple sears, kind of like we did the chicken, but a little bit easier and quicker. Anyway, the whole key to this is picking a good meat and the seasoning. The seasoning is my secret recipe, and I'm not going to lie, I've kept most of my recipes secret from people I've had over and whatnot. I don't like to share everything. I mean, come on, I'll give you a little hint, but this is special. This is trial and error. This has taken me years, literally, to perfect. So this is my all-time favorite burger seasoning recipe, and that's really the key here. The core of any really good rub or seasoning, especially for beef: salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. I mean, these are the four core flavors that you can build on to really take yourself anywhere. And you can use these separately, but luckily, because this is such a common base, you can get it pre-done in a wide variety of brands. This happens to be a Weber. I think I picked this up at Home Depot when I was just there for something. They have a lot of grill stuff. But you can get the same base, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, and tons of different brands. Just, look at the ingredients on the back, see what's in it, and it's probably going to be under something like a steak seasoning. Don't get one with too many other things in it. It's okay if it has a little bit of sugar, but this is the core base. From here, you can add things to really kick it up, and that's what we're going to do. So these four we don't need. We're going to take care of it. I like to do about 2 tablespoons of the base per burger. So we've got 2.5 pounds here, so that's about, I do half-pound burgers. They shrink down, they average out about a 1/3 pound cooked. So we're going to do, about 1/3 of this. Alright, and of course you just need a regular old mixing bowl. We're going to do this by hand, really easy. Now 3 other ingredients. This one's optional. If you really like things spicy, put more of this cayenne in. If you just want a little bit of a flavor kick, my wife doesn't like hot stuff, but she doesn't mind a little bit of a flavor kick. So this is what I do for guests. I do about a 1/2 teaspoon per burger of the cayenne. So a good couple dashes worth. And that's just enough to give it a real nice flavor. It's not going to make anybody sweat or cry. Not a big deal. Dill weed adds a beautiful, subtle dill flavor to things. Same proportions as the cayenne. A little bit goes a long way with the dill, but it's just one of my favorite flavors. I really like this on pasta. Like if you make macaroni, just use butter and dill. That's it. No cheese, no sauce, no nothing. Beautiful flavors. Same thing with oregano. This really gives it an airy, light, spicy type flavor. I think it helps bring out the actual meat flavors. Now, the secret ingredient. This is what I rarely tell anybody. Curry powder. Absolutely, you probably never think about curry powder on burgers. Probably think of Indian food. And of course it is very prevalent in Indian food, but especially mixed with this combination of spices, curry powder adds a delicious layer of flavor to the burgers that is unmatched. And a lot of people just can't get enough of the flavor, but they can't put their finger on it. The curry powder is a secret. Whew, and it's potent. I mean, it's not overly strong, but you can smell it. And this is kind of to taste. Start out with the same half teaspoon per burger and go from there. It smells a lot stronger than it tastes, so don't be put off when you put it in the bowl. Alright, now we're going to put our meat in. We've got one last ingredient, and that's olive oil. Another one of my secret weapons. This just kind of helps bind things together. Obviously it adds some flavor, but while it's grilling, because we're going to do it cover on, kind of low and slow, this is going to act as a smoke agent and just almost steam the burger from the inside. And you will appreciate that once you actually taste the burgers. This is what keeps it absolutely juicy no matter what you cook the burgers to. Another secret weapon. And you'd never know it was on there when they're done. And it's not dripping with olive oil or anything like that. Let's mix our spices up a bit here. Get on chunks and clumps. Just loosely break it in. Just want to break up the meat so it's easier to move around with your fingers. And a note about the beef. Obviously when you go to the store you've got a wide variety of choices of what meats or beefs that you can choose. It's very important when you're grilling burgers to actually get one that is not a lean cut. I only use the regular old ground beef, something right around 20% fat, 80% meat. If you go for the leaner cuts like the ground chuck or some of the Angus, you lose a lot of flavor. The fat in here is going to render on the grill, and it's what gives most of your burgers their flavor and their internal juices. So if you cut that out, you get an overly lean cut of meat. All you're doing is removing the flavor, and you can't get that back with spices or adding olive oil or anything. It has to be there. That's the core flavor and what everything else is helping bring out. So only use just regular ground beef, something around 20-80, and you'll be good to go. Let me wash my hands real quick here, and then we're going to pour on our olive oil. Now with the olive oil, it's kind of you can't oversaturate it. It's only going to bind with so much olive oil. So when you put the burgers on the grill, you'll have a little bit left over in the bowl, and you can just pour that on top. And another note about olive oil, you do want to use a high quality olive oil. There are many different types. Obviously an extra virgin or an extra virgin is the best to use for any kind of sauce or cooking. Very smooth flavor. A really cheap place to get it is any warehouse club. This is from Sam's. I got this huge jug here for 18 bucks. I mean, a little glass bottle at the grocery store costs 20 bucks. So save yourself some cash. If you're doing any kind of big cooking, get a membership to these clubs. You know, you can get these big spice bottles. This is a little one. I got this at Walmart. But they sell one about the size of this for the same price. So as I run out of these little guys, I'm replacing them with the big ones. And, you know, that lasts me a year or two, depending on what spice it is, for the same price, literally. You know, this little guy is about $5 at least at Walmart. And for $5, I get one 3 times the size of this at Sam's. It's just crazy stupid not to buy stuff like that in bulk. So for this amount of meat, I'm going to use about a cup of olive oil. And again, you don't have to worry about oversaturating it. It totally cooks off all the excess on the grill. So now we're just going to mix everything in. Once we get everything kind of distributed, I'm going to make the patties. And do not worry about being gentle with the beef. Some people have their recipe where they're very, very gentle. They don't like to, you know, disturb the natural formation of the beef. I actually completely pack it and mush it and make it into kind of a paste, and I form the patties with my hands that way. That really helps lock in the juices and the flavors, and just gives you a beautiful layer of flavor while it's cooking too. So there's nothing really fancy or magical about this. You want to distribute all the spices as evenly as you can. And you can see it's completely soaked up the olive oil. There's nothing left in the bottom of the bowl. That's right about where we want to be. Because anything left is just wasted. And, you know, even at 20 bucks for that gallon, that's not cheap. So you don't want to be wasting the stuff and, you know, putting in 3 cups or anything like that. So it doesn't knead it like a bread dough. Ooh, it's cold. It really soaks up the heat from your hands. Toss it around, get the stuff that was on the bottom. And you'll see it almost turning to a dough. It gets stringy. And the olive oil is completely bound in it. So it's really keeping everything together real nicely. Those grind strings from the beef are gone. We've got our spices all distributed evenly. And that's what we want. We want it to be like a moist bread dough. Alright, now let me wash my hands again and we'll form the actual patties. Then we'll get the grill ready. Alright, one note about the patties. The only real physical limitation to the size of your patties is the size of your spatula. So you don't want to be making big pound burgers if all you have, you know, is a tiny little half pancake flipper. You want to get yourself a big, solid, wide grill spatula. Really a good tool to have regardless of what you're cooking. And they even make some that are double wide for flipping really big stuff. And I get nice big buns. You know, these are onion topped. You can get sesame seed, whatever. I love the fresh baked ones at the grocery store rather than, you know, just the standard hamburger buns. They're bigger, they're more substantial, they hold the meat better. You know, just do the burgers right and use some good buns with them. So now let's go ahead and form the patties. Nothing too magical about this. There's just one thing I do differently. What you want to do is take a big handful, and again, make these to the size you're comfortable with. I prefer to make them about ½ pound, knowing that they will cook down a little bit. I want to form it into a ball, and I'm squeezing and compressing. And I'm forming the outside. Now there's a lot of ways to make hamburger patties. This is how I prefer to do it. I'll show you a couple other ways here. This is just quick for me. I'm doing it a little slow here to show the camera. I just form it around, squeezing and compressing with the palms to make everything beautifully smooth. Put it on the plate, it's going to hold together. I give it a dimple right in the center, and this just helps everything cook well. Okay, that's all I need to do. Another way you can do it, and this helps if you have a bigger plate or a cutting board, you can just plop the ball down and form your puck that way. Now the only reason I don't care for doing that is because it doesn't give you an even layer all the way around. And part of my recipe here is making sure that those juices cook inside and come out evenly. So I need the outside to be formed the same all the way around top and bottom and on the sides. Alright, so I'm going to finish these up here. And then I will meet you guys out to prep the grill. We're going to use a full chimney for this. We need some high heat. We're going to do a sear and then a lid on, kind of medium to finish them off. So we're going to do a full chimney here. Need a lot of good heat for this. Paper packed in, lit up. Again, I like to hold it above the ground here, really get the flames going, and then set it down. If you set it down right away, paper doesn't have a good chance to catch. You want the coals to light as fast as possible. There's no point in wasting time. It takes long enough as it is. Alright, so we'll come back in about a half hour. Woo, thick smoke. Those coals should be ready to go. Alright, coals are just about done. Now I've got some unburned coals left here. These aren't 100% lit, but they're about 95. I'd want that flame to almost completely die out and see a nice gray forming on the top if I didn't have any unburnt. Now I was just pouring them in fresh. But I need these to heat up a little bit too, so we're going to get the head start while these are still going. We're going to pour these all over in a single layer. We're cooking these burgers direct, so we need everything evened out. Now be careful doing this. I had some longer tongs and they just broke. I got this set and I'm not real happy with them. Ugh, ash is going everywhere. There's no breeze out tonight. It's just sticking in the air. Careful doing this. You just want to spread everything out into a single layer. Doesn't have to be exact, but you just want the surface area even for cooking the meat. We don't do these on a side because we're not doing this indirect, like we would ribs or something like that. We also need our grill, our actual grate, really clean and really hot. So we're going to let this heat up for a good 10 minutes. It's going to get those unburnt ones going. It's going to clean off and heat up the actual grate. It's already starting to sizzle now. And I want to see those flames kind of dying down. I want to see a nice glow all over the ashes, so it's about maximum temp. Should be about 450 degrees. It's about what you get on this preformed charcoal briquettes, and that'll be good enough to start doing the burgers. So we'll come back in just a few minutes when this is ready. We're ready to roll here. Flames have died down. Coals are really piping hot. Grill's nice and clean now. We're going to put the burgers on. Now what we're going to do first is just a quick sear. We're not going to actually move them or flip them. We're going to put them on, and this is going to just form a little bit of a crust on the bottom. That's going to help lock in juices and flavors as it goes through the actual cooking. You want to be aware of how you're going to space these. I've got 5 burgers, so just eyeball it. Make sure that coals underneath the burgers are evenly placed. Don't worry about flare-ups at this point. It's only temporary. And these do shrink quite a bit, so don't worry about putting them right next to each other. Now with the olive oil and spices in here, we are going to get a ton of great natural smoke coming out. I'm going to shift these down a bit here after I get the lid on, or after I go inside. So let these go for just a minute, just a nice quick little flavor sear. Don't worry about the flames, we're not going to let this go very long. What's going to happen is the olive oil is going to come out. You're going to see a lot of flames just from the olive oil coming out, dripping on the grate, dripping on the coals. And in a minute, I'm going to show you the real secret to this. Oh man, that smells good. You can smell the spices burning off a little bit, olive oil cooking, meat searing. Alright, now we're ready for the lid. All you do is put your lid on, vents open. This is going to completely snuff out the flames. They're already gone. Now we're just getting all that smoke from the spices, the fat that's going to render out, and the olive oil. This is the part I call making the neighbors hungry. Now, if you're like me and you're looking for somewhere around a medium rare, I suggest flipping about 4 minutes in. If you're like my wife and you like something more well done, try about 6. Hoo-wee! Let me tell you what, this smells good. whole backyard is filled with smoke. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's perfection right there. Now if you want to check yours, just open it up in the middle. For about a medium well on that little one right there. So that's perfect, that's the wife's. Nothing left to do, take them off. Take them inside and bun them up. And just see the juices oozing out of there. Absolutely delicious. Doesn't matter how long you cook these for, you can go absolutely well done. Still going to be absolutely filled with juices. That's what I'm talking about. Yummy! Alright, see you inside. Alright, nothing left to do now but make yourself some delicious burgers. Let's cut it open here and see how we did. They're piping hot. Nice little give on the crust there. Oozing with flavor. Just a tiny hint of pink right in the middle. Just filled with juice. You can see that deliciousness right there. Alright. So these are ready to go. Like I said, these are good enough to just eat as is. Feel free to experiment. Put whatever you like on it. But do yourself a favor and at least try it with nothing on it to get just the flavor of all the spices that we put into this. Alright, so that's been the world's best burger recipe, in my opinion, my favorite. Thanks for watching, guys. Tough again. We'll see you next time. Burger. That's good.